wasn't getting angry that I was getting punished, so I started lashing out on the teachers.
So you were lashing on the teachers because they were punishing.
Yeah, too much.
So it's just going around.
Yeah.
You know.
How have you not heard of the X-Men?
Please tell me. Am I supposed to know everything?
It's this 300-year-old guy who's a mutant, so he kind of has claws coming out of his hand.
When you started going to nursery, after a few weeks, I say, they will call me every day and say, oh, you're not playing nice, you're hitting the child, do you know what I mean? And I remember they will call me every day, and I started getting this, you know, I don't know whether it's palpitation. Every time I drop it, I feel like, you know, I'm going to be called, you know, very soon. I just wanted to get your take in regards to this story about Chris Kaba. So, did you watch it?
Yes.
What did you think about it? You know?
I thought it was...
You need to speak loud. So that
I thought it was sad.
It was sad?
Yeah.
And, like, as a young person, did you think, that could be me, that could be anyone? Or do you think, well, he deserved what he got?
I thought... Well, first I wasn't really sure until I read more into it. Then I thought that the circumstances could have been entirely different if there was someone else in the car.
Okay.
Because police clearly acted on instincts.
Okay, yeah.
And the chance of going wrong was probably 60 to 40. So.
Yeah, but then it's like down the line, they got to find out there was history. He had a history that even from 13 years old, he committed some crime with a knife. And we know they showed a video where he shot somebody, right? So then I thought, 13 years old, he did such a thing. Like, that kind of a thing didn't start at 13. Like, a baby doesn't just start running. You know, he needs to crawl and he falls so many times before he start walking, right? You know, and that made me thought about you in regards to the biggest part. I thought that wasn't mentioned, which is school, right? If you're gonna help a young person, one of the places that they spend most of their time is school. Now, that comes to what I wanted to get your input here in regards to school, right? We know that when you started school at the age of 3, that things didn't quite go amazingly well, right? They like age 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you remember what was going on at school?
Kind of, because, you know, what is it, 3, 4, 5, 6, those 3 years I was in nursery reception in year 1. So nursery was pretty much all play. Reception, things got a little bit serious. The teachers weren't so great. Like, they taught, but they were always frustrated when they taught, which was not good.
So what do you remember, like, when they're frustrated, what happens?
They normally shout at the students.
Yeah. So, like, I remember at nursery, it's like maybe
nursery was fine. There was nothing wrong with that.
For me, because, you know, you're quite young then, but like, when you started going to nursery, after a few weeks, I say, they will call me every day and say, oh, you're not playing nice, you're hitting the child, do you know what I mean? And I remember they will call me every day, and I started getting this, you know, I don't know whether it's palpitation. Every time I drop it, I feel like, you know, I'm going to be called, you know, very soon to be told one thing or the other. So I remember, you know, coming in nursery at some point, trying to help, to kind of like, okay, what is going on here? Because you weren't like misbehaving at home or any of that. And, you know, I remember before you went to nursery, we used to do work together, right? You were reading, you were, you know, you jump and you were happy. So when you get to nursery, it's like things changed, you know. But then we thought, oh, maybe it's a kind of a toddler thing, toddler tantrum kind of a thing. But then he escalated. Do you remember what happened after nursery?
Yeah, reception was a bit different because I don't know why. But I was kind of like the bully of my class. I wasn't bigger than anyone, but I was still a bully, you know. Like sometimes I'd pick fights with the other boys and stuff like that. I don't know why, I just would.
So do you remember what triggers it, or you know? Because I remember like your the principal of the school, like describing you that when you're angry, like it's like another person. It's like there is an adult in you. You know, it's like a child,
Like,
and that have a manifestation of this angry adult or something like that.
like I would fight, but I never really got lethal.
Never go what?
It never got lethal. Like I would fight, but I would always keep at a playing minimum, you know.
Like, so you say playful thing to you.
Yeah.
But obviously the teachers don't see it like that. Like they were like you were distracting the children, like you weren't listening.
But even if I was the best of my class.
How do you mean the best?
Because of everything, I was not like, even if I was bad on behavior, I would always be like, because they had like a ranking system where even if you're like bad on behavior, you still get like points.
Yeah.
If you're like ahead of everyone else, and there was barely a time that I wasn't at the top. So even if they said that I was distracting the others, I was always at the top, so it didn't matter to me at all.
Well, education wise, learning wise, obviously you were already okay. We do work at home.
No, I was the best of the best.
Yeah, you were okay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But behavior wise, what they were saying, like to me, like to you, it seemed like you're having fun, and that is the child mentality. When they are doing those things, they don't see it the way adults sees it. Me as your mom, I'm the one receiving the
also,
stress.
Like the last few months of reception were really bad because it was as if the teachers were more angry. Because I remember there was one time and they were talking about something to do with the Roman Colosseum, and so the teacher was like, all the children should hold hands. So we all held hands. Well, no, actually I was the only one who held hands with the other students because we were all in a line. So then out of the blue the teacher shouted that we should all hold hands. So then after that I started crying. I was already holding hands, so I didn't know why I cried. But that it's just brutal expression, I don't know why, but it kind of like scarred me back then.
I mean, like by the way the teacher
Lashed out.
Shouted.
It's like it was like a personal problem being pushed on everyone else, you know.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, maybe she was just having a not
Bad
such
day.
a great day.
Yeah.
And children doesn't obviously make it easy because sometimes, like you said, hold hands. Some children will be like they are still playing, chatting with one another, laughing. Whereas the teacher is like thinking, "Come on, get on with it. We need to do whatever we're doing." So I remember this EP, the first EP. Like you worked with 2 educational therapists, okay? Because like what you were saying, describing to you, it seemed like play. Right, but the teacher wasn't having fun at all.
Yeah, and I was always getting punished a lot.
Exactly.
So then I remember that I kind of stopped. I started getting angry that I was getting punished. So I started lashing out on the teachers.
So you were lashing on the teachers because they were punishing.
Yeah, too much.
So it's just going. So I remember once where they put the children one side and then they put you on one corner, and then you keep trying to step out there, and then they're like, you need to like stand there, but the thing
that was like a villain arc for me.
It was what?
It was a villain arc for me.
A villain
arc.
Villain arc, what do you mean?
Because a lot of storylines in movies and TV shows, normally the villain has that one traumatic event, so then because the world is angry at him, he tries to get the world back, so that's all kind of like it was for me.
Yeah. So I remember they will call me in all the time. After the first educational therapist, I think he worked with you for 8 weeks. It was coming, I think, once a week, or twice a week, I can't remember now. And he will do these activities with you. He was talking to me about like soft soft toy or soft play or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Do you
'Cause
remember?
I remember there was one time I got punched and sent out, and they gave me a bag of toys to play with.
Okay.
And I remember I used to was it a Wolverine figure? Yeah, I remember the specific Wolverine figure, and whenever
Wolverine figure.
Wolverine, yeah.
What's that?
How have you not heard of the X-Men?
Please tell me. Am I supposed to know everything?
It's this 300-year-old guy who's a mutant, so he kind of has claws coming out of his hand. And I remember
Has what?
Claws coming out.
Claws?
Yeah.
Like long nails?
No, because it comes out from here. So it was iron as well.